Welcome on back. It's now 6:44 in your Capitol Watch. President Donald Trump's Truth Social post on Easter Sunday, it gained a lot of attention, not only because of its profanity, but also the new deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. So let's go live to Scripps News Group Washington correspondent Stephanie Liebergen. And Stephanie, what can we expect from the U.S. if Iran does not meet the deadline, and how is Iran responding?
Hey, Tony, good morning. Well, according to the Truth Social post that you mentioned, the profanity-laden post from the president yesterday, he was very clear that the U.S. would attack power plants in Iran, bridges in Iran. We also could see the U.S. attack things like oil fields or desalination plants, which are key for drinking water in the region. And then we already know that the U.S. and Israel have already hit and damaged a bridge in Iran. They did that last week. So it's really just a matter of what might transpire over the next 24 to 36 hours to see whether there's some kind of deal that would have the president back off of his threat to kind of go after that civilian infrastructure in Iran, or if he is going to follow through on these threats that he put up over the weekend. Now, Iran is saying that if the president were to follow through on his threats, that it would constitute a war crime committed by the U.S. Legal scholars say that, that civilian infrastructure can be targeted in the rules of war, but only if the military advantage is stronger, and that there is a really high bar there for what would need to be met to make it, make an attack like that permissible, basically, within the rules of war. So we're waiting to hear more from the president today. He has scheduled a press conference at the White House briefing room that's scheduled for 1 o'clock Eastern. He originally threw out that suggested press conference when he was posting over the weekend about the successful rescue of the second American pilot that went down in Iran. The first one rescued on Friday, the second one rescued over the weekend. But I'm sure the president's going to get questions about that rescue, about the deadline for Iran, about his post that he made on Sunday. It's quiet up here on Capitol Hill with lawmakers out on recess, but if they were here, they would be asked a lot about that threat and what the president has said over the last couple days and through the holiday weekend. So we're really looking ahead to that press conference at the White House. Again, that's 1 o'clock Eastern today, Tony.
I thank